Good morning, everybody. How are you today? I hope you're well. My back is feeling much better. There's a there's a slight hint of something there, but it definitely feels better. So I'm going to see what I can get on with today. Play a little bit of catch up. Now I sound a bit mucusy, a bit sniffly. I don't have a cold, not anymore. But I just had a massive sneezing fit. Made me laugh, actually. I was walking through the park. All the kids are out playing football. There's like a organised football kind of practice training. They're all, I guess the kids are all under 10. They're in sort of little different age groups. It's a lovely sight and sound, just seeing all these kids running around having an absolute whale of a time. So I started sneezing. I couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop. They're all looking around me. I was like, chew, it's fine. So, you know when you get that sensation right in the side of your nostril of fizziness? It's still there. Pardon me sniffing. So yeah, if I start sneezing today, I think something's just got up there and irritated. I can't think what it would be at this time of year because there's not really any sort of, you know, tree pollen or grass pollen. Anyway, beside the point. What I have remembered to do today, so the last time I was here, last time you saw me, I was picking those beautiful tomatoes and other bits and pieces to make the roast tomato sauce recipe, which I was planning to do. That was yesterday. I was planning to do it yesterday evening, but then it's too much going on. It got to about midnight and I finished all my other stuff and I thought, do I really want to start making tomato sauce at midnight? No. So the aim will be to do that this evening. I'm going to have a blow of my nose. Excuse me for a moment. That's better for now. Yes, so I managed to get a load of tomatoes home, just the regular Gardener's Delight, plus the gorgeous ones for the recipe. And do you remember I was saying what I was worried about? I'm just looking because they're over there waiting. I'd also had my gather of tomatoes and cukes for seed saving. And the tomatoes I picked for the seed saving, I purposely picked the most ripe, the most mature fruits. But that meant they were all a bit squishy and in danger of going flying. So I remembered today to bring my various lots of Tupperware. But it's not actual Tupperware, it's not branded Tupperware, but you know what I mean. This stuff, okay, it might seem odd because I'm always going on about I don't like plastic, and in general I don't. It's more about single-use plastic. I can't bear it. And I try generally not to buy any new plastic, even if it's going to be used over and over again. I just try not to buy new plastic. But these kind of things they're just, you know, if you're self-sufficient, if you're a self-reliant gardener, you need cupboards full of this stuff, whether it's when you're coming here harvesting. So I've brought these for the seed saving bits, but I've actually brought some more to just keep in the shed because, you know, often it's those things like, oh, you see a blackberry bush on the way and there's loads of fruit, lovely ripe fruit to pick. Grab a bit of Tupperware out of your shed and go and pick. And then hopefully they won't get mushed on the way home. But, you know, I put these in the freezer, they go in the fridge. I put leftovers in them to go in the fridge. Most of them that I've got have got lids. I've got a few without lids. Fine, if it's going in the fridge with leftovers, I just put one of my beeswax wraps over the top. Yeah, you can never have too much Tupperware, can you? And actually loads of this is scavenged. For some reason at work, there was always a mountain of Tupperware which had been just randomly left by people. And every now and again we'd have a big wash up of all these random bits and pieces, put them all in a pile with a big poster above saying, is this yours? Please collect, or they'll be thrown away. And the poster would always be up for like 2 or 3 weeks, just in case someone was on holiday, that sort of thing. And at the end of that time, the housekeeper would basically chuck them. I'd be like, no. So when it came to the final day, I'd say to our housekeepers, don't do the chuck, pass on whatever's left to me. Which is why I've ended up with, you know, you might have seen them either in, I've definitely shown them on Facebook, photos. Have I shown them in videos? I don't know. But I've got a lot of those flat, shallow-ish square. They're almost like takeaway tubs. And actually, some of them were takeaway tubs. Night shifts. You have your takeaway meal. They were getting chucked. But they're great because, firstly, they fit 500 grams, which is, if you were using, say, with the tomatoes, a tin of tomatoes, a tin is, what, 450 grams or so? So basically, if I fill one of those takeaway tub type things, it's the equivalent of a tin of tomatoes, a tin of soup, a tin of beans, what have you. But also, they stack really well in the freezer. You can see through them to see what's inside, but you can absolutely cram tons of them into the freezer, both that way and next to each other, in front of each other. Fab. So yeah, if you ever see Tupperware going begging, grab it. Okay, so today I'm going to try, wriggle, I'm going to try and finish off the jobs I was doing a week and a day ago in terms of brassicas, mulch, extending the Cavolo Nero bed, lifting the leeks that will involve, getting the mulch on. I want to get that done anyway, but I've just heard, this is bonkers, we're due another heat wave. We've got another heat wave coming next week. What is going on? So I think it's due for Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures up to 30. Let's say what that is in Fahrenheit, Vivi. That'll be about 85, 86 degrees. That's unheard of for September. That's way too hot. So all the more reason to get some mulch on. I'm going to soak the beds first because we haven't had any rain now since that bit of rain we had. I think it was the 3rd of September and it's now the 12th. Yeah, it's over a week since we've had rain, so I'm going to soak all the beds first, get them mulched, and just see what happens with this heat wave, if it's actually true, if it's actually going to happen. So, first job, lift the leeks. Just a really quick word about the leeks. I've had a few. I've sown them on purpose to have as a summer veg, to avoid leaving them in and the allium leaf miner get them. The allium leaf miner will start being active again in October. So if you've got leeks and you want to overwinter them, get them covered. Probably just get them covered now, because the allium leaf miner will be active again October and November, but they might nudge into September, so get them covered. So I grew mine to have them as a summer crop to avoid that, because even covered, I've lost my entire crops for the last 3 or 4 years. So as a summer crop, they're I've sown them really closely. I haven't thinned them out at all. I've just pulled out 1 or 2 as and when I've wanted that kind of oniony taste. I've used them almost like spring onions. And I haven't used a lot because I think in my mind they're still a winter veg to me. I need to get used to them being a summer veg. So I'll have them all out today. I've got the last few of my spuds left from my new potatoes, so I can make a leek and potato soup. And I think at the back of the fridge, I've got a bit of a creamy blue cheese, just a tiny bit left over. So I might add that to the soup too. Ooh. Oh, I want it now. Right, I need to shut up about that and get in the garden. So let's go and lift these leeks and see what brassicas we've got to shove into the hole they leave. So here's the last of my leeks. Ooh. This ground is a bit compact, but I didn't have any mulch on it this summer. Okay, great big slab. Never mind, I'll give it a bit of condition in a second. So, let me show you. As you can see, let me bring them round to show you. Excuse me. They're not massive, not by any means. They were never intended to be. Like I said, these have been planted. All I did was direct sowed in a little line, didn't bother thinning. By way of thinning, I had a few out to eat. But the whole point was not to develop these, that's a noisy airplane, not to develop these really big, chunky leeks for winter. Just a nice bit of flavour in summer. But between all of these, I'm sure there will be enough for some lovely soup. And let's face it, we're getting into soup time now, aren't we? Well, I say that, maybe after the heat wave. Oh yeah, ground's like concrete. Oh, the smell. Oh, the smell is gorgeous. Now I've got that calendula in the corner. It's self-seeded. I think I'll have it out because, oh la la, I've got plenty of calendula elsewhere. I'd rather see if I can get one more brassica in there. Yeah. Oh, this ground is a bit naughty. It's really rock hard. I think what I'll do with all that compost that's in the bins that I'm going to use as mulch, I'm going to see if I can just tickle a bit into the ground first before I plant. And then, oh yeah, horrid ground. Yeah, I need to get a little bit of compost into the actual soil before I plant again. So, oh, pebble labels, put my labels away. Right, I'll get on with this, get this ground prepped, go and find some spare Cavolo Nero, pop them in on the end here, and then do the job I didn't do the other day, which is take all this covering off, rearrange. At the moment my hoops are going sort of crossways, just shorten their distance in order to create more height, get the net back on, and my cavallos will be happy. Yay! Right, let's get on. Where's that other pebble? Yeah, definitely don't want to lose my little rock labels. Tuck them away, all ready for next spring. What are you talking about next year? Where I've just taken the leeks out, that ground is really, really compact and solid. So I've put my chicken manure pellets on it, and I've just put a can of water on just to soften it a little bit so I can scratch some compost in. But I thought, actually, while the cover's off, so can you see, I don't know if you can tell, but what I've done is, see where this one starts and goes over? The end of it was poked in over there, so it's a much sort of more shallow arch. So I've moved the end from here to here to create a higher arch, so there's space under there for the cavallos. But yeah, remember these went in, it was a bit of a, oh, I've got no carrots, I might as well. So on this side, I've got those lovely plugs from Paul. And on the other side, and this amazes me, these were some absolutely piddling, really pathetic, scrappy plants of my own. They're beautiful now. I mean, lovely, sturdy plants, plenty of foliage coming. And as I was mentioning the other day, there's actually so much foliage here now. I will start harvesting, and then underneath, whoopla! Oh, I just hit the spade. The random carrots that did decide to come up. Goodness knows which sowing any of these represents. Sowing number 1, number 2 or number 3. But over here you can see there's a bigger clump of them. Let me see if I can get you down so you can see into the soil there. A bigger clump of them. And my theory about this is that there was a big calendula plant here. The light always comes this way. So because there was the calendula plant, it was shading this patch of soil. So they got away, which has made me think that for next year, I mean, goodness knows what the weather will do, but I think I'll start my carrots under shade netting. Loads of them. I am happy. I'm very happy about those. Some of them are teeny tiny, some are a bit bigger. And then here on the end, right on the end, I've just pulled out of here just two spring onions. Actually, let me show you them. They're on my stool over here. Oh, morning, Rosie. How are you, sweet pea? Yes, shed time in a second. Yeah, look, that one is a monster. That one is kind of like you'd expect. Look at the size of it. So if you remember back in, was it end of April, beginning of May, I made a heart shape out of, what do you call them, spring onion seeds. And that's all I got. So, teeny tiny little scrappy plants there. This is some more Cavolo Nero that's left over. And that's what I'm going to put into the end because, like I always say, they've got more chance of growing in the ground than they have in their pots. And I mean, just look how those have got away once they're in. Okay, they've been in a while, and is it too late for these to get away? Well, who knows? But it's the same with, there's my net waiting to go back on. I won't leave it off too long this morning because there are butterflies around. It was the same with these kales. Hopefully with the light we'll be able to see through. Yeah, I mean, they were absolute pathetic little scraps. And they're looking so perky. Look at you all perky in the morning sunshine with a little nasturtium friend. So yeah, don't give up on your plants. If you've got the space to stick something in somewhere, you might as well, because what else are you going to do with them? Chuck them on the compost? Nah, get them in the ground. They may just surprise you. Oh my goodness, like these carrots did. Right, hopefully that's enough time with that water on there. So now I can give it a little bit of a fork, not too much, bit of compost on there, get some more Cavolos in. And I've run out of blue poles to make a hoop over the end here. All I've got is this really rubbishy one that broke within moments of buying it. It completely snapped in the middle. So all I did with a bit of hose pipe that was full of holes and good for nothing, I used the hose pipe, I cut it into sections to work as sort of a band-aid for my hoop. Right, let's get on. It's such a beautiful day today. I say that and some clouds coming over. There's a real sort of stillness and quietness to the day. It's my favourite kind of days. Every now and again, I can hear a train. I can hear the kids in the park squealing with delight, being let loose at the weekend. Oh yes, because of course the kids are back to school now, aren't they? So of course they're going to squeal in the park. So, finished the Cavolo bed, what I was doing there. So I fitted in 4 little teeny tiny scraps of plants. This is definitely another case of bung it in, see what happens. So having done them, I'm now in the ex-chickpea bed, and I have to confess, when I got to the end of my chickpea session yesterday, I didn't chop all my material. It's a little bit of a tedious job, but actually this is the sort of perfect moment to do it. It's warm, it's breezy, it's quiet. It's one of those lovely, slow, meditative jobs. So I'm just chopping them up. They're going to form a bit of a mulch. I'll see what else is in the compost bin for a bit more, because in here also I've put in the very last dregs of my brassica massacre. So I've squeezed in 8 in this little bed. They are so late going in that my little lolly stick labels, which I just write on in pencil, have completely faded. I think I've got 3 kale, 2 of a type of broccoli, not sure, and then there are 3 which have got a real purple tinge to them. Now, I don't know whether that means they are purple sprouting broccoli. They don't look like it. So I'm wondering if it's some random cabbage that I sowed way back in April. Don't care, don't matter. So yeah, like I've said, I think probably many times this season so far, just if you've got the space, bung them in. They are not going to grow or do anything if they're in modules, pots, what have you. So you might as well. And actually some of them, even if they stay really quite small, sort of what I'm hoping is that as we go into the new year, with all the brassicas that are, so the curly kale and my Cavolo Nero, which are really quite well established, they'll get scoffed first. As we go into February, hopefully not behind me, where is it? Where have I planted things? Oh no, is that my purple? I think that's my purple sprouting broccoli, isn't it? Someone remind me, yeah. Basically, come February, the purple sprouting broccoli will be happening. Beautiful, beautiful veg, but it's the florets. So what I'm thinking with these little stragglers here, really late going in, if they come to anything, they won't really be coming to much until January, February or so. But that'll be great, because by the time a lot of the other leafy stuff has finished, I'll have some more leaves. Because like I say, I absolutely adore purple sprouting broccoli, and you can eat their leaves, of course you can. But generally we get to that point in the year where I'm eating sprouts, sprouts as in the sprouts of the plant, not Brussels sprouts. I still can't grow Brussels sprouts. I've given up trying, 5-6 years of trying. Yeah, it just means that there's less leafy stuff around then. So these would be great. Oh, and of course the Taunton Dean. They've been a bit hammered by slugs and snails. They're surviving. They're just about surviving. I think I've got 6 cuttings in total. The 2 best looking ones, I'm planning to hopefully plant them both down at that back end of the cold frame. I'm kind of wondering, it's always the way, isn't it, when you've got plants, can I get them all in? I don't have space for 6 Taunton Deans. You've seen, they become monsters. So I've got at least 4 friends down here who've expressed a desire to have cuttings, so they won't be composted, they'll be given away. But yeah, I'd completely forgotten about the Taunton Deans. I need to think about getting them in. I'm sure they've rooted by now. What I should do when I finish this is go and just upend one of the pots to see if there's any roots poking through. I'd like to get them in if they've rooted. I'd like to get them in quite soon, just so they can get going, get established before we get too cold. I mean, they're perfectly cold tolerant, of course they are, but it would be nice to give it a chance to get going a bit, get established, and maybe even get established enough to give me a few leaves in the spring. Oh, wonderful. Well, this is going to take a while. Like I said, it's one of those jobs that if you've got loads of jobs on your mind, you probably put it off because everything else seems more important, and you know this is going to take ages. But having done a bit of like move, I thought it'd be quite a good idea to do this sitting for half an hour or so. And once this is done, I can then go and tackle the compost bins to get the mulch out. I won't show you, you've seen my compost bins already. But what I'll do is, if you remember when I took out a load of stuff for the purple sprouting, it is purple sprouting broccoli, that day when I took a load out for the mulch there, and it was looking gorgeous, I used about a third of that bin. So I think I'm going to use the remaining 2/3, 1/3 for each of those onion beds. The easiest thing to do, therefore, is for me to lift the entire bin off, so I won't be leaning over into it, because this is the thing I'm being really mindful with my back. I don't want to lean over and in and awkward angles. I want to make it as ergonomically smooth as possible. Oh, I'm looking forward to that too. It's like I mentioned a few days ago, there's quite a lot of jobs to get on with, but I'm so happy to, because I feel in some ways I lost the whole of August. I mean, I didn't lose it, it just wasn't any fun. It was just all the watering all the time, and you know, that whole week where it was just too hot to be doing anything out here in the day. So I'm just really enjoying being back in the garden, and the day being bright, sunny, warm, gorgeous, but not so hot as to make one feel ill just by moving one's little finger. So I think for now I'm going to say cheerio to you all whilst I carry on with my ex-chickpea chopping. I will see you all again really soon. What am I going to be doing next? Oh yes, I know. Some sowing and some transplanting of some little plugs. That can be for another day. It might be my today. It won't be your today. So, until then, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, hold someone's hand if they need it. Whatever you're up to, if you've got weather that's half decent, try to make the most of it. Try to get outside, potter in your garden. Until next time, bye for now.